Hey guys, it's KJ from the Scariest Movie Ever channel on YouTube. I've been working on a couple of bigger videos here lately, but I recently saw this story and I knew I needed to make a video about it. Because it's covering a lot of the symbolism we've discussed here on the channel, even recently, in some of the more recent videos. If you're new here, this is something we do a lot here on the channel. We're looking into subliminals, synchronicities, and the language of symbols. Because there's another language taking place all around us that so few people see, but that is growing. There's definitely been an awakening to this language of symbols I've seen over the last 5 years. And some of the symbols we're going to talk about today I've recently covered in other videos. So this story just came out a few days ago, and it had to do with a school mural that was taken down because it was deemed offensive. And this right here is the mural in question. The second I laid eyes on this mural, I couldn't help but notice a few things. The most obvious being Trump's head on a spear. And also the character that actually has Trump's head on his spear. There have been other images and ideas placed out there about Trump being assassinated, being taken out. Or in this case, being the tip of the spear. Perhaps being the ultimate fall guy. Perhaps being the last real president of America. Now lately there's also been a lot of interesting connections with Trump and the spear, or Trump and the tip of the spear. Here's just one of them. This is actually Trump's family crest. And you can see at the very top there, it's a hand holding a spear. So again, the tip of the spear, and Trump. Even looking at the Trump Tower, once again, we find the spear. Which brings us back to this mural, once again with Trump and the tip of the spear. But there's something more. Many people have had dreams and visions about this, and many people are drawing connections to this idea that Trump will be the last president, that he is the tip of the spear. And this will be unlike anything we've ever seen before. You can think of it like another 9/11 coming. But what's interesting with the dreams, the visions, and the connections, a lot of people are seeing this as a chance for Obama to enter back on the world stage and not just be a president of America, but basically be the president of the world. So that's why I find it very interesting looking at the character that has Trump's head on the tip of the spear. It has the body of a man, but its head obviously is some kind of a skull. And on top of that skull is the leopard. There are some very interesting connections between the leopard and Obama. So to begin with, you may remember this tweet. This is back when Obama was still in office. And this was when he passed gay marriage, where it became a law of the land. So of course he'll have a rainbow flag. I mean, that makes sense. That rainbow imagery has been co-opted by that movement. But why in the heck would he put it in the form of a leopard? You can also go to the Denver International Airport murals, once again on murals. Now these have been deciphered and decoded for years. I've done a few videos on it, many others have covered this as well. And all of this being connected to end times events. So again, isn't it interesting that we find this dead leopard here? Seemingly surrounded by different cultures from all around the world. So even more to the point, and even more interesting, Obama, a younger Obama, took a picture in front of that leopard on the Denver International Airport mural. Is all of this just a coincidence? So keeping in mind that the Antichrist in the Bible is described as a leopard. And that's not the end of the connections between Obama and this leopard symbolism. So you can also go to his book, Dreams of My Father, and once again we find that leopard connection. The second dream came during that journey when Obama and his half-sister were traveling by train to his family's village in Kenya. She told him a disturbing story about their grandfather and his cruelly self-righteous behavior toward others. That night, Obama dreamed he was walking through a Kenyan village filled with playful children and pleasant old men. Suddenly, everyone panicked at the sight of something behind Obama. They ran for safety as he heard the growl of a leopard. He fled in a mad dash, finally collapsing in exhaustion. Panting for breath, I turned around to see the day turned night, and a giant figure looming as tall as the trees, a giant, wearing only a loincloth and a ghostly mask. It's interesting how once again we see a lot of these common symbols playing out that work in unison with one another. The idea of Trump being the tip of the spear, and Obama being the leopard, the one that will rise after. Now that's about all I wanted to show you with this, but there's a few more things I want to cover I think are very important. There's a whole lot going on right now, man. It's really been crazy out there. It's hard to keep up with all the news. But there's several things that have happened just over this past week that are connecting to each other, and I want to get into that as well. We are now in what some people may call the fifth age, or the last age of man. And this is where you're going to start really seeing this New World Order come together. That's exactly what we're seeing right now. Now there's a difference between the church system and faith. And I think faith is really growing with a lot of people, especially with all the revelations that have come out over the last several years. But the church system is dying. And not only is it dying, it's also being exposed now. They literally had a Beyonce mass at this Grace Cathedral. And once again, this is a very real thing. You can even find video of the quote service they had here. And it's vile, to me it's disgusting. Has nothing to do with Jesus, has nothing to do with salvation, has nothing to do with the Word or the Lord. But it has everything to do with the Lord of this world. The veil's dropping quickly. Beyonce is one of the most obvious satanic sellouts in popular entertainment. There's no doubt she's been through the rituals and she understands all this occult language and Mystery Babylon, the symbolism. And now here she is, basically being worshipped. Again, this is not fake news. If you don't know about this, look into it. But it's interesting. I was telling you there's some news that's connecting here. There's other things happening. I'm going to show you another one of these Illuminati satanic sellouts and how they're using her right now, and how it's connected to religion. The Vatican invites Katy Perry to talk about transcendental meditation. A Vatican conference is wrapped up featuring controversial pop star Katy Perry speaking on transcendental meditation. And remember the whole thing with the language of symbols, it's telling you something else. It's speaking outside of the words. It's filling in the blanks. There's more to the story. And here's another image of Katy Perry. Again, one of these people that is completely sold out to this system, and she's being used. So just think about this for a second. Again, here's another image of Katy Perry. Very obviously, to many of us, performing a satanic ritual on stage at the Grammys. Now we find her connected to the Vatican. We find her connected to this false prophet. And we're beginning to see the New World Order religion take shape. So during this conference at the Vatican, this right here is the set of charms that they were handing out to different participants for this study on transcendental meditation. And once again, the symbolism speaks for itself. As I said, there's a quickening taking place, and we're seeing this New World Order religion take place right before our very eyes. It's really coming together quick now, because there's more. So you may have heard of this one too. I'm going to show you some images, but they recently had the Met Gala 2018. And the theme this year was all about religion, more specifically the Catholic Church, it seems. Even the title here, people are offended by Met Gala's Catholicism theme. The people that are offended by that, I think, are still locked into this system and think there's some value in Catholicism, or they still find value in religion. This is it. This is the fifth age, the age of Aquarius, if you will, the last age of man. All those old constructs are falling apart, including religion and politics. Everything's melding together into one, a one-world religion, a one-world government, a one-world monetary system. And in case you didn't know, the Met Gala is a fashion event or a fashion show. So here's just some of the imagery from this event, and of course when you first lay eyes on it, what do you think? Holy. Pure. Okay, maybe not so much. But that's why this kind of thing works on multiple levels. It's a poke in the eye to real faith. It's a poke in the eye to real Christianity. It's a poke in the eye to Christ himself. So what we're starting to see now is that homosexuality and gender fluidity, if you will, all of that's going to play a really big part in this new world religion, because they'll say it's all about love, but these people just love each other. So what's wrong with that, right? And it's going to be those hateful Christians that are saying that it's wrong, that it's a sin to be a homosexual. I'm seeing the pieces of this fall into place all the time. It's coming. And in many cases, it's already here. And even the guys were involved in it. I mean, this is more mockery right in our face. The guy on the right played Black Panther in that big movie that just came out. There's tons of symbolism in Black Panther, the film, that actually connects with Obama. So now you're starting to see how all these things are connecting. Now this right here is Donald Glover, also known as Childish Gambino. And I had to throw this one in, because it just doesn't get much more obvious than this. But if you can't tell, that's the illuminated all-seeing eye on the back of his jacket. This is yet another one of those satanic sellouts to this system. This is all a spiritual system we're watching manifest. A lot of this imagery comes through people who are either asleep to this system or sold out to it. And oftentimes I believe these artists and people that put some of these images out don't even know exactly what they're doing. They're being used to do this. The one world order, the one world religion, the one world leader. We're at the doorstep. And the door is wide open. So I say this in the past, and I'll say it again. I'm not a religious person. I'm not a preacher or a pastor. But I am a person that has a lot of faith. I love God. I love Jesus. And I follow the Word the best I can. I'm just a guy that's trying. And I find it incredibly important to understand these symbols and to see what time it is, so that you can make a choice. So I'll leave you with that for now, guys. Once again, thank you so much for watching the video. I appreciate you out there. Take care of yourselves. Don't live in fear of these things, because all these things must come to pass. Take care, and I'll talk to you next time.